If he wasn't Luo Jixin, who was he? But if he was, why did he act so differently? I poked Bojin's back with the gun. Inside. We'll talk there. Bojin walked in slowly. He looked so calm, you wouldn't know I had a gun pointed at him. But he wasn't brave. I knew he was a coward from before. In the big room, Bojin and the man I thought was Luo Jixin sat on a sofa. They were smiling, like I was a clown putting on a show for them. Only Bai Zhuqiang stayed calm. She wasn't smiling, but she didn't look scared either. I was very confused. I raised the gun. Before I could finish, the man laughed and said, "Put the gun down, Wei. We can talk calmly," I said coldly. To talk calmly with someone like you, I need to hold a gun. He sighed loudly, clapped his hands twice, and a local servant came. The servant carried a tray with a handgun on it. I was shocked. I had a gun pointed at him, and he dared to call for a servant to bring him a weapon. If he wasn't crazy, what was he? I couldn't stand it. I fired the gun. Bang! My shot made the tray fly, and the gun fell to the floor. He laughed again. "Relax, Wei. You need to know guns don't work here," I sneered. "They seem useful to me." He stood up, pushing out his chest. "Fine. If you think so, shoot me. Go on." His clear challenge made me furious. "You think I won't?" "No, I want you to shoot." I had no choice. I didn't need to kill him, but I had to hurt him to stay in charge. I raised the gun and fired. The bullet hit his shoulder, going straight through. He stumbled but kept smiling. I stared, wide-eyed. My shot was good. I hit his shoulder, and the bullet came out the other side. But he stood there, smiling, with no blood. I gasped. He tore the cloth at his shoulder, showing a deep hole where the bullet hit. No blood came out. The wound quickly filled with new skin. In about 3 minutes it was gone, leaving no mark. He smiled. "Guns don't work. I hope you believe me now." I looked at Bai Zhuqiang, then Bojin. He said, "No need to look. Everyone here is the same. We've all taken the immortality drug, friend." The immortality drug. My heart jumped not just because of the drug, but his words. I quickly said, "You're not Luo Jixin." He nodded. "You should have known that by now." I almost fainted. Turning to Bai Zhuqiang, I shouted, "Mrs. Luo." She answered coldly, "That's my own business. I don't need to tell you." Like a balloon losing air, I fell onto the sofa. I had failed again. Not just failed, but worse than ever. Bojin and the man, not Luo Jixin, but Luo Jiqian, laughed again. I found my strength and said, "Luo Jiqian, you killed your brother?" My question didn't help. They just laughed at me. But it showed me one thing. The man I had saved from death row, the one everyone thought was Luo Jixin, was not him. He was Luo Jiqian. This wasn't Luo Jixin killing his brother. It was Luo Jiqian killing his older brother. The one who fell off the cliff, gone forever, was the kind Luo Jixin. He had spent almost 20 years looking for his brother on the South Pacific Islands only to find a cruel killer. But knowing this didn't clear my doubts. It only made them stronger. My mind was full of questions, and I still didn't know the truth. My thoughts were a mess, and I had 3 main questions. 1. There was no clear reason for Luo Jixin to kill his brother. But why would Luo Jiqian, who just came from a lonely island, kill Luo Jixin? 2. After the event, everyone thought the dead person was Luo Jiqian, probably because the brothers looked so much alike. But how could Bai Zhuqiang, Luo Jixin's wife, not tell them apart? She must have purposely caused the confusion. Why? 3. What was this immortality drug? How could a bullet wound in Luo Jiqian's shoulder not bleed and heal so quickly? What made this strange thing happen? Many small questions also came to mind, and I was so confused I couldn't speak. After a long silence, I said something that even I found funny. "Are you an alien?" Luo Jiqian stopped, then burst out laughing. "Look what you're thinking. Of course I'm human. But you found out my secret, so you must die. No need to ask more questions." His words made me jump to my feet, but he laughed at me. "We're all immortal here. How do you plan to escape?" I shouted. "That's silly. No living thing lives forever." He smiled in a scary way. "Too bad you won't get to prove you're wrong. If you could, you would test the bones of those local people in that room with radiation. You'd find every one of them is over 1,000 years old and they will keep living." Bojin's fat face shook as he laughed. If, as you say, no one lives more than 200 years, why do so many people shout long live to someone with such strong feelings? I forced myself to stay calm. Those who want people to shout long live are just crazy people. Luo Jiqian turned to Bojin. He doesn't believe us. He won't stop our plan. Let's take care of him. Bojin's face, still smiling, nodded. Go on. He made me suffer a lot. I won't feel sorry for him. I pointed at Bai Zhuqiang, my voice sharp. And you, Miss Bai? From the beginning, you knew who died and who the killer was, right? You treated your husband's killer as your husband? She answered coldly. I could become the richest woman in the world. My husband is dead. Can he come back? I hit my forehead, frustrated. Now I understood. From the very start, I had been caught in a trap set by Luo Jiqian and Bai Zhuqiang, getting deeper into trouble with every step. I clenched my fists, walking towards Luo Jiqian. Even if I couldn't kill him, I would beat him badly. But before I reached him, he did something strange. He quickly pulled out a very sharp dagger and held it. Seeing the knife, I stopped. Instead of attacking me, he pushed the dagger deep into his own arm with a sound. He shook his arm, smiling. You need to know we don't even feel pain anymore. I stood there, shocked, my fists opening by themselves. I had planned to punch him, but what good are punches against someone who doesn't react to a dagger in their arm? He pulled the knife out. No blood came out, and the wound healed quickly. My voice sounded strange as I asked, What's happening? What did you get from this? He laughed loudly. I told you the immortality drug. I mumbled, Immortality drug? Yes, he said. If you don't understand, call it a very strong medicine that stops aging. I was still confused, but I saw that Luo Jiqian loved to show off. If I pretended not to understand, he would probably tell me everything. It wouldn't save me, but it would give me time, and I would at least learn the truth. I decided to do it. Spreading my hands, I said, I still don't understand. Really? He smiled. I can explain. Bai Zhuqiang interrupted. He's just trying to waste time. Can't you see that? Of course I can, he replied. But what's there to be scared of? There's no one for 3 kilometers around. Even if he wastes time for 3 days, he's only living longer for those 3 days. His words scared me. 3 days was a lot, but even 3 hours would help. I had a plan. He continued, to understand my secret, we start from the beginning. Do you have the patience for that? Yes, completely, I said. I'm trying to waste time, so the more details, the better. He laughed. I'll give you your last wish. I disappeared when my small boat was hit by guns from the shore. Metal pieces got stuck in my shoulder. In the confusion, I held onto a piece of wood, floating in the sea. The wound was very bad. I fainted soon after. When I woke up, I was in a canoe. In that canoe were 3 people. Luo Jiqian pointed at 3 local people standing nearby. I had thought they were Bojin's servants, never thinking they knew Luo Jiqian from a long time ago.
He continued. The canoe floated in the sea. It didn't think I would live. One of the 3 local people held up a bamboo tube and made a sign for me to open my mouth. I saw it had a white liquid inside. It didn't know what it was. But I drank 2 big sips. It was bitter, almost impossible to swallow. I almost spit it out. But within a minute of drinking it, something amazing happened. The pain disappeared. My shoulder wound healed quickly, and the metal pieces stuck in my skin seemed to be pushed out by some strange power. No doctor could have treated me so fast. From that moment, I knew I would live, and I realized that milky liquid was a wonderful local medicine. If I could learn how to make it or get more, I would become the richest man alive. No doubt about it.
I said coldly, that shows you are a very greedy man. He didn't get angry, just smiled. Call it what you want. Who isn't greedy? I lay in the canoe, and we reached a small island truly far from everything, only about 3 acres, all rock, with strange plants growing in the cracks. Their stems were like bamboo but had huge fruits. When ripe, squeezing the skin let out that milky liquid, the same stuff I drank in the canoe. Once I settled on the island, I drank it every day. He paused, then said slowly, I noticed something amazing. The island had about 100 people living there, no children, no old people. They fished in the sea, surviving any storm, no matter how bad. Finally, I understood. They couldn't die. The liquid from those fruits was an immortality drug, a super medicine that stops aging, something that could heal skin like nothing else. I had found people who couldn't die, and I of course was immortal too. His face turned red with excitement as he spoke. He looked at me. Do you know what causes aging? All living things make things that cause aging and things that stop aging when their bodies work. The things that stop aging slow down aging. A living thing's life is a fight between the two. If the things that stop aging disappear, a 12-year-old child is like an 80-year-old man. Doctors see this often. But if the things that stop aging are always renewed, stopping aging completely, a person can live forever. He waved his hand. I found the secret to living forever. I was shocked. His words didn't sound like lies. A real immortality drug? It was hard to believe. I could only listen, unable to ask questions, so I stayed silent. Luo Jiqian continued. After I understood this, I collected as much of the white liquid as I could. 4 years later, I had filled a large barrel and built a big canoe. Didn't know the war was over, so I stayed careful. But I knew if I reached cities and sold the liquid in small bottles, I'd be a very rich man. Finally, I left in the canoe. 20 days later, I met Bojin. Bojin was already a successful businessman. His yacht hit my canoe, spilling my valuable barrel of the drug into the sea. But he saved me, bringing me back to where people lived. Right, Bojin? The fat man nodded. I told him my story, Luo Jiqian continued, but he laughed, saying I was crazy. He said he knew every South Pacific island and had never heard of mine. I didn't argue. We reached Timor Island, and he planned to give me to the U.S. military, but I escaped. I stole one of his yachts to go back to that island. The story was starting to make sense. I stayed quiet but thought, what happens now? He waved his hand. When I tried to find the island again, it was like it disappeared. I sailed to where I thought it was, but only found endless ocean. I ran out of fuel, and as my yacht floated, I met Bojin again. He made me part of his group. I asked, what group? Bojin smiled. It's okay to tell you, a group that illegally brings things in and out. I wasn't shocked. I had guessed as much. In a place like this colony, Bojin's money was almost certainly gained illegally. I sneered. Perfect. You two are just alike. They ignored my comment, looking almost proud. Luo Jiqian continued. Years later, I found the island again. To get there, I had to go through very dangerous waters, huge storms, many tiger sharks, saw sharks, and swordfish, a place sailors are afraid of. But for a few hours each year, the sea becomes calm. I had floated out during one of those rare times. I said coldly, you're lucky. He smiled without shame. My luck has always been good, and it's just starting. I'll be the world's hero, the greatest rich man, holding the secret to living forever. I'll sit at home, and money will come in like a flood. I sat silent, shocked. As he said, money would come in. Who doesn't want to live longer, especially rich and powerful people? Death treats everyone the same, taking both the poor and the rich. No one can escape it. But Luo Jiqian and Bojin had changed that. The world's richest people would give half their money to live longer. Yes, this strange medicine that stops aging sounded weird, and Luo Jiqian and Bojin were not good people. They were disgusting. But truly, their business wasn't wrong itself. They had found this immortality drug on an island and planned to sell it, no matter the price. That was fair business. So why keep it a secret? Why kill me for finding out about it? That was my newest question. I thought for a moment and asked, if this is a normal business, why do you need to kill me to keep me quiet? Bojin, Luo Jiqian, and Bai Zhuqiang looked at each other, smiling in a sneaky way. None of them spoke. I realized there must be a deeper secret about the immortality drug, a secret so important that it meant I had to die. But what was it? My clear thoughts caught their attention. Luo Jiqian laughed. Don't bother thinking, you'll never guess it. Your time is up, friend. He gave a cold, evil smile. I waved my hands quickly. Wait, you haven't explained why you killed your brother after he spent years looking for you. His thick eyebrows went up, his face twisted with anger. But before he could speak, Bai Zhuqiang said sharply, don't. Why tell him so much? I looked at her. She turned away, not looking at my eyes. That proved that there was a hidden web of secrets between her, Luo Jixin, and Luo Jiqian. Luo Jiqian stepped closer, clapping his hands. A local person appeared carrying a tray with a shiny, very sharp blade like a sickle. He held it, with a cruel smile on his face. I waved again. Wait, I have one more question you must answer. I waved again. Wait, I have one more question you must answer. He laughed loudly. Fine. One last question before you die, why not? Actually, this question was very important, but I had a secret reason for asking it now. When he clapped and took the sickle, a small hope appeared in me. If he had used a gun, I would be lost. But because he was so proud, showing off his super strength, he chose to kill me with a blade. That was a silly mistake. People who think they have all the power often do foolish things. A knife gave me a chance to escape, unlike a gun, which gave no chance.